Hi, I'm Ricky Rivera, and this is my pitch for my movie Frat AF. The log line for it goes: when trouble rises in the Kappa Sigma Tau fraternity with the discovery of a missing keg, frat president Todd T. Mac Magruder is on the case and will do whatever it takes to get it back. So basically, the story is about a frat and their missing keg, and it follows the president Todd T. Mac Magruder and the journey to finding the keg. So the inspiration for this film was mostly because right now I am lucky and I get to live in a house with 10 of my friends. So we have 10 of our guys, and we make a lot of jokes about how we're like a frat because we live 10 dudes in a house and we all just have fun. And so we make a lot of jokes about how we're just like a frat and all that stuff. But at the same time, we don't like frats. We don't really like fraternities and the vibe that they give off, and we make fun of them. So basically, that was what sparked the idea for Frat AF. Honestly, we have had a lot of fun in the process of making it. And yeah, so that's the inspiration for my script and for the movie in general. So back to the actual story of the script. There are several characters that we introduce, and the first one that you get to meet is Todd T. Mac Magruder. Of course, gotta add the nickname. And basically, he's a leader. He's the president of this fraternity who just wants the frat to succeed. He wants everything to go right. When this keg goes missing, he does whatever it takes to go find it. The next character we have is Morgan. Morgan is Todd's second-hand man. He will do anything for Todd. And this man he's in love with Todd, and he's basically a know-it-all. He knows everything, when it happened, all that happened. Then we have Lonnie. Lonnie is a gym rat who just loves his buzz. He is a very laid-back dude. He just cares about the gym and his buzz. Skis, he has connections on connections, and if you needed to know something, he got you. And then we have Stony, who is a bit of comic relief for the story, that he just stays on cloud nine. Okay, so now that we got the little overview over with, now we can go a little more in depth into the story and look at our animated storyboard and go a little bit scene by scene, so that you actually know what's going on in the film and can get a little bit of a preview of what it will actually look like before it is filmed. And so it opens up with a scene of Todd T. Mac Magruder waking up from a wild night of partying and coming downstairs to wake up the rest of the boys. And so that's basically what this first shot is it's a shot that it says tracking if you can't really read it, but it basically tracking. It's a following down T-Mac down the stairs and has him walk out to the room where the boys are at in the living room, all passed out on the couch. So then that's what we see with this next clip here. Is the next scene, the next shot of the scene is all of the fraternity brothers sleeping on the couch, and he has to wake them up because for some reason they're still sleeping, and he's up. He had to get up, and he has to find his hat. We have a shot of him looking in the mirror and fixing his hair, realizing he doesn't have his hat. So he has to he wakes him up so that he can find his hat. So he turns on some EDM music that basically just shows you what they're listening to these days. It gives it a little personality. Not really, because frat brothers don't have personality. Yeah. So he turns on the music and he turns to the boys, as I have right here, and he's yelling, "Where's my hat?" And then of course Skis, the boy, is the one that finds his hat and hits him up and gives it to him. And then this shot right here is a close-up of T-Mac, and this is where he's saying the hunt begins because Lonnie figures out that the keg is missing. And so this is basically him saying the hunt begins, and this hunt begins leads into a montage, and it's a montage of the Frat brothers looking throughout the house, and they see some wacky stuff. Like we have cheese, the piece of cheese on his head. We have him running. We have I had somebody butt up here, and somebody looking like the bathroom and stuff. And basically, yeah, it will be a montage of them looking for the keg, which inevitably they do not find, because obviously then it would be over right there. So after this scene of a montage, we get a little monologue from Todd, and this is where we really get to cut to the deep depth of this character. And it's basically him spewing how disappointed he is in himself about how he shouldn't have ever let this happen. And this is basically him motivating himself to find the keg and eventually restore balance to the house. So we have that monologue right there. Actually, went a little bit back there. Then the next shot, he gathers up the boys, calls a meeting, and he basically is starting interrogations, and he's gonna find out and get to the bottom of who was the one that stole this keg. So then, after this speech he gives, we go straight into interrogations. Intense music, and it begins with Stoney. And so here we basically have a little dialogue between Todd and Stoney. And yeah, so we just have shots of over the shoulder and side to side, and we just have like the shots reversing back and forth between the characters as they speak. And then after that, intense music again. It's the intensity that just stays through, and it goes directly to an interrogation of Lonnie. So basically, it's like a little bit of a montage of all the interrogations, and it's just interrogation, back to back to back, and it all, of course, does not lead to the finding of the keg until this is the Mark and Todd interrogation. We have Mark running out as for some comedy in there, and until he talks to Morgan, his right hand man, do anything for Todd. He gives him the information, and he leads Todd to believe that it's Steve. And then this is where we figure out his name has been brought up through the film. Steve is Todd's arch rival, and basically Steve wanted to be president, but Todd got president. So this leads all the motivation for Todd to believe that Steve is the one that stole the keg. So then after this shot, we have them running out to go find Steve. So then that leads to another montage of them looking for Steve. There's a lot of montages. That's basically all I'm good at editing, but yeah. But so yeah, there's a lot of montages in there, and it shows Todd and Morgan looking throughout the house to find Steve. And then they find Steve in a bathtub, passed out. And this is where they interrogate Steve. So they have a little bit of dialogue. And then we have a nice little shot of Steve above where we continue their conversation. And then we have a shot of them looking over Steve in the bathroom, just to make it so it's not just one shot of Steve. So then they figure out that Steve is not the one that stole the keg, because he was playing beer pong with, I don't have my script with me, so I'm blanking on the name, because he was playing beer pong with James the whole night. He's playing beer pong with James the whole night. So then after we figure out that it's not him, we find out that Jimmy has been sending text messages to all the fraternity brothers, like really weird ones. So he's just sending emojis. It's really weird, very cryptic, which leads everybody to believe that it's now Jimmy. The problem is nobody knows where Jimmy is, and all the information they have is emojis. So they get the emoji from Steve, which is seen right here, and it's just a cactus. That's all it is. So it leads that nobody knows what that could mean. Then Morgan and Todd are in the hallway when walking past comes Skis, and Skis gives them another emoji that Jimmy sent him. So then eventually we skip. We see the emoji from skis, and then we skip ahead to they have all the connected emojis together, and they're trying to decipher the code, and they're having no luck at it. Honestly, they have no luck at it. So they have Lonnie and Stoney there, offering up their opinions, which obviously are dumb opinions. That Todd eventually gets frustrated, and he kicks everybody out. He tells everybody to leave, which is seen right here. So then we get a shot of Todd just by himself. We have some sad, somber music playing, and he's trying to decipher the code, and he just can't figure it out. So this is like his low point, and it can only go up from here, right? So the next shot is him passed out, waking up after the next day, and he is just waking up after all this, and he wakes up and he has it. He has it figured out, the code, and he knows exactly where it is, and he's going to go there immediately. So we have, guess what? Another montage with some background music going, and we have the journey that Morgan and Todd have to go find where the keg is, because Todd finally figured it out, and he knows exactly where it is. It's in the forest. So then we find Morgan finds Jimmy passed out on the keg, and Todd is forever relieved as Sigma Kappa's frat president, and we have a final shot, a victory shot of Todd lifting the keg over his head in celebration. So that is basically a scene-by-scene description of the plot, and I can't wait to see how it looks on film. So yeah, basically that's my entire script, and I'm super excited to get started and start filming and getting the whole thing done, and I can't wait to see what the final product looks like, and I can't wait to show you what the product looks like. And yeah, so that's my pitch. Thank you guys for watching. I'm Ricky Rivera, just so you remember, and my title is Frat AF. Thank you.